So we're using the Panacur oral paste for puppies, and this is the third day of their, excuse me Faye, third day of their 2-week worming schedule. And in here you get the syringe of paste, and this little turning device shows you how to work out how many graduations. So those graduations are marked on the syringe with little grey markers. And at the moment, because these puppies are just over a kilo now, all of them, they're having between 1 and 2 kilos worth of puppy paste, which is 2 syringe graduations. So it's not that easy to turn when you get towards the end of it, but we'll set it up for the first puppy. And because there we are, that's 2 syringe graduations, and because we have grown quite significantly, we have to change the colours. So we bought these, and you could make them, the little paracord collars, because they were really, really helpful last time. We tend to find at the moment they're wearing little soft Velcro collars, and the problem with those is that as they grow you have to keep adjusting them. I'll start with this one. And they don't keep their Velcro ability, they don't keep their sticky ability for very long. A yellow here, I'll start with yellow. Yellow's already outgrown her yellow collar. She's currently the only one that's wearing it, but hers started off really quite tiny, so she obviously has well outgrown her original baby collar. So what I'll do is I'll pop this on and get it fitted correctly first. It adjusts so you can make it nice and big just to get over the head. Slide that on, there we are, get it in a comfortable position, and then you just slide it to tighten it up. And if they need to get out of it, it will sort of release itself. They're very handy, very good partners. I have to take the lid off this wormer because it's always dead stiff. There we are. Right, so like this is the third day of this treatment, their 2-week treatment. There we go. Good girl. We've got a very sleepy Mr. Black, and I'll show you. We'll take this collar off so you can see. I know, sweetheart, I know. So this is basically just a piece of Velcro that was around his neck, but it's not as Velcro-y. They come off pretty easy after the first week, and he's outgrown that, believe it or not. So we'll find the black version of these. We'll get this on. Oh, Mr. Black, giving yourself a clean. You're a good boy. Alright. Yeah, of course you choose now to yawn. Oh, yeah. That's it. Thank you, sir. Perfect. And we'll get the next 2 syringe graduations going for you. There we are. Okay, so this is Mr. Black. You want to be putting it right to the back of the mouth so they're not spitting too much of it out. They will spit some of it out. I'm sure it doesn't taste terribly pleasant, but as long as most of it goes in, that's what you're after. Right, who's next? I've got a Miss Red down here. A Miss Red. We'll change her collar first. So, I know. There we are, as you can see. So that I trimmed all these so that they were sort of the appropriate size when we first put the collars on a few days after they were born. Try to find the red one. There we go. That these are not great for newborns, but they're great now that they've got their eyes open and they're moving around a lot more, playing with each other, starting to interact with each other now. So these are actually great collars, a bit easier to stay on, but also will slide open well enough to come off if there's a problem. People get a bit worried about puppy collars, and really it's just about making sure you're getting quality collars that will quick release if you need them to, but not come off in just everyday wear. So you oh my goodness, you're making a meal of that, Miss Red. They won't just come off too easily, you know, especially if you've got a very identical looking litter. Well, we've got 3 blues in this litter, which obviously are easier to spot amongst the greys. And now we can tell them all apart anyway, because they've all got their own little characters and slightly different little marks. But in the beginning, it's harder to tell. This is a Little Miss Pink. I say Little Miss Pink. She's not so Little Miss anymore, but get an old one off, find a new one. Hello, Danny. Whoops, a daisy. Nice baby pink, this colour. Oh. They've all got massive heads, these puppies, which is fantastic, because I've been moaning on about Lupine Dog heads and skulls and how we've been losing the head and the skull now for 20 years or more. We certainly don't see the size of the head and the skull that we used to. Hello, my darling, you're such a good girl. And that is becoming a problem, because if we lose that wider skull, we're basically losing the main part of our breed standard, which is that the skull should be sort of almost disproportionately large to the side of the body. The skull is extremely important on a Lupine Dog, and this litter in particular has got wonderful big large skulls. And that was part of the reason that we did this pairing, actually, because Daddy, he has some Russian dog ancestry, and Mummy has some Davidson wolf ancestry. So between the two of them, they had some very large skulls in amongst their ancestors, and we were hoping that by putting the two different bloodlines of larger skull together, we could effectively rescue some skull back into the breed. And it's worked a treat, actually. So this is Mr. Blue. Yes, this is Mr. Blue. Oh dear. Right, let's give you this. Good boy. We'll get the blue collar on for him. Might be a bit of a stretch getting it over his massive skull, but well, it's not the worst of things we have to complain about, is it, Mr. Blue? There we go. His neck's much smaller than his head. That's great. That's Mr. Blue. Right, who have we got on? Oh, Miss Teal. Right, Miss Teal. Let's see. Let's get your old collar off. Let's get your old collar off. Oh, good girl. And we'll measure up the, we're running out of Panacur paste. It's much harder to turn when you get to the bottom of the syringe, so you do have to become a bit of a third hand. You have to sort of grip it with the top of your hand and turn the reel with the bottom. It's not easy at all, actually, towards the end. It's a slight... If Mr. Panacur is listening, then you should be aware that this is the problem towards the end of your syringes. And you do want that. The whole syringe has sort of about 10, I think, measured graduations in. So here we are, Miss Teal, beautiful. What a beautiful colour, Miss Teal. That's going to suit you down to the ground. Get that in there. There we are. Get your wormer done. Last day today, sweetheart, and then you've got a break for 2 weeks. There we go. Oh, darling, I know. Right, who's left up there? Mr. Grey. Mr. Grey at the back. Let's see if we can reach him out. And Miss Purple it must be. Come on, Mr. Grey. Here he is, very, very laid back young man, Mr. Grey. Let's try and find that collar. Mr. Grey's collar blends perfectly into his grey fur. Get the new one on, sweetheart. Another huge head to get over. There we go. Good boy. And last graduation on this syringe, which, once again, tricky. Very tricky. Oh, he's so laid back, look. He's falling asleep on the job, as usual. Rarely stays awake through his ENS these days. Mr. Grey, come on, darling. That's it. Rarely stays awake through a lot, really, unless it's dinner time. Super chill puppy. Okay, hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. Miss Purple is the last one. Oh yeah, Danny. So we'll take this and we can find it, little purple collar off. Ooh. There it is. Good girl. Get your new one on. That's it. There we are, Miss Purple. We've had to open another syringe of Panacur. Right down in the back. Oh, she says, I'm not even going to bother reacting to it. Oh, just realised it's in my mouth. Very good. Good girl. There we are. So, that's everybody fully wormed for the first 2 weeks and in new colours. Tomorrow, we're going to be taking down the whelping box because they're day 18 tomorrow. We're going to take down the whelping box. We're going to put up the smaller of the puppy pens. They're going to stay in here, which is our main living room where we spend all our social time with us for the next couple of weeks. But in a larger pen, we're going to create a bed area at the back and a toilet area at the front because our eyes and our ears are open. And it's time to start introducing real meat food. So they will be having a slurry mixture tomorrow. So we'll do a video on putting up the smaller puppy exercise pen. You'll need a bigger one as they grow, but the smaller one for tomorrow. We'll do the video of their first meat meal because that's always fun to watch. And we'll talk about how we're laying that pen out in the early days. The little play area / bed now that we're all up walking around on our feet and we've all got our eyes open and our ears open so we can see a very short distance in front of us. They can hear, they are responding to most noise stimuli now. We'll do that tomorrow.